Hello, I'm at WSU Tech. I'm Dr. Penny Seiwert.
And I'm Linda Sessions. And welcome to the BIZBuzz podcast, where business meets students and we learn new things.
Hello, this is our BIZBuzz podcast starting in 2024. Can you believe it?
Oh, man, can't believe it's February 2024.
I know. I'm Dr. Penny Seiwert.
And I'm Linda Sessions.
And we head up the business department at WSU Tech. Today we have a guest and we'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Seiwert. I graduated from WSU Tech and then again from WSU. And I'm also Penny's daughter-in-law, lucky her. I work in banking right now, specifically at Emprise Bank. That's where all of my career in my adult years have been, is in banking. I am a BSA analyst. So for a very high level or a fun way, I like to say it is that I fight financial crime, do a lot of research, write a lot of persuasive small essays, and, just decide if stuff's suspicious or not.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Well, I can't say suspicious very well. And, we use sus a lot. It's a lot easier to say that.
Well, and we appreciate all the, we call it forensic accounting, just deterring any kind of crime that you can, particularly when it's our banking and our money. So we appreciate that kind of thing. I'm just going to ask Rachel. Rachel came to us in somewhat of a path that I think a lot of students do. She had started at a college. She'd started at the University of Arkansas right out of high school. And she enjoyed that experience, but then she came back. Were you a sophomore, Rachel, back to Wichita?
Yes, I was between semesters my sophomore year. Okay. Arkansas was just a little too fun and a little too expensive.
Yes.
Is really what it boiled down to.
And I think, yes, a lot of our students find that out maybe after a while. I went to WSU, of course, and it was expensive. And I can't even imagine what the cost for somebody going out of state would be. So then, Rachel, you came back and you kind of took a class here and there. Is that right?
Yeah, I originally thought I wanted to go into forensics, like CSI type, that kind of route. And I had one class that I loved, but the rest of it didn't do it for me, I would say. And I also wasn't motivated at that time, really, because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I loved one class, and if I could have, made a whole career on that one class, that would have been great, but that's just not the way that it works. So I took a few classes here and there, and then I just decided to take a break because I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted to work and try and be an adult, and then fell into banking. And that kind of propelled me to where I'm at now and deciding to come back later and finish.
And so, as you said, you took a few classes here and there, and then you went into banking, not necessarily knowing that was going to be your field. And so probably I approached you about our online office technology classes, which Rachel could take all online and fit it into her work schedule and everything else she was doing. So you want to talk a little bit about did you find that easy then?
Yes, it was so much better for me because I knew that I didn't want to go the route where I had to go in person, especially because it was right before the pandemic when everything happened, and I just didn't want to go in person. I didn't want to have to drive all over the city, and I worked from home a little bit too, so that was part of it. But I eventually found a really good routine where because I work full time all during the whole entire process, I knew that I wanted to have weekends to hang out with my friends. And I got married during going to school and bought a house, did all of these big life events. And I wanted my weekends. I wanted to do things on the weekend. I didn't want to have to do homework all weekend long unless needed, of course there are finals and that sort of thing. But I Monday after I got off work, I would come home and figure out what I needed to do for the week. Sometimes I was even really good at figuring it out the week before what I needed to do the next week, but that didn't always happen. You got to be honest.
Right.
So to tell, I was going to say, Linda, maybe talk to Linda. How easy was it for you to take these classes online? It was Linda's program, so maybe you can address that a little bit, Linda.
Yeah. So
Rachel.
she was in the Administrative Office Technology program, which was all of the classes were online. And when that program first started, it was unique in that it was the only program that the school offered where everything was online. Now we have lots of classes that are online. You had taken classes face-to-face before.
Yes.
How
solely
did you,
face-to-face.
Yeah. How did you do things differently between your face-to-face classes as far as studying and your online classes? Because you didn't have a set time that you had to be at class. So how did you work that out?
It really was, okay, I would kind of break up my classes based on how many things I had to do for each class, how the difficulty of the class, sometimes I would want to just get the hard one out of the way and, busted on that for one whole evening. But I think it gave me time to get things done on my own time. And, don't tell my job, but sometimes I would be able to, pump out a page of work or something while I was at work on a downtime. And that was so nice to be able to have the freedom of doing it when I had the time and when I made the time.
Yeah.
And I think it was nice to not have something due every single time you go to class. And most of the time, everything was due all at the end of the week. So just planning that out was the most important thing that I found.
And so did you find that when you transferred your courses over to WSU Tech, they pretty much all came over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was one business ethics or something like that didn't transfer right. But I took that over the summer and I actually loved that class. So I wasn't upset that I had to take that again. And it was just, that was such a discussion class, and it was so fun to just get to talk with other people. And, I think it's really fun when they're behind a screen. So you could, I was a little bit more bold, I would say, rather than in person where I may not have said everything. Sure. But yeah, I loved that class. And it took
very comfortable doing these things online. Right. Yeah. And so then the ease of your courses coming in to WSU Tech meant really you could get done faster, I'm guessing, than you anticipated?
And especially, I also didn't know how much I wanted to take when I first came. I only went part-time at the beginning. Okay. And then I decided, I'm doing well in the part-time. I could probably handle a full-time schedule. And that allowed me to get done even sooner than I originally had planned. And I really didn't know how long it was going to take me. I kind of was just going until I get it done.
Mm-hmm. And so, Linda, that kind of goes into your time management kinds of things, the time management that you talk about a lot. You want to talk a little bit about that or how it corresponded with Rachel?
Yeah. Sorry. I thought I had my phone turned off.
Talked about time
management.
So
sorry. So time management. That's what I was trying to do here. With your classes, with the time management, I absolutely love the fact that you started out slow and then figured out, hey, I can do this. You scheduled your time and you looked at what you were doing. Didn't quite know where you wanted to go yet, but you were moving forward. And a lot of times that's hard as a student because you feel like I should know where I want to go with these classes. And sometimes you don't know. You don't know. You go from CSI classes to accounting, right? And very detail orientated. I can't say that word. How did you find the transition, though, from WSU Tech to WSU?
It was a very smooth transition. Everything was easy to transfer over. There, I had no issues with classes.
Yeah, and let's just go back to that, Rachel. Then one of our things with WSU Tech, business administration, or it was the office technology as well, is the ease of the credits going over to WSU, which we are trying to be a primary institution that transfers people over. So you're speaking to that, how easy it was.
Oh yeah, I had no issues. It was funny because I actually personally knew the advisor, and I didn't realize that she was an advisor. So it was so fun to be able to catch up with her a little bit and then go through and she helped me with a plan, and it was a really great experience. And then, yeah, going over to WSU was a breeze. I mean, I had no issues. There was one class that they had to put like a special exception in where they were like, oh, this counts for this class, but they were titled a little bit different or something along those lines. Like a prerequisite. Yeah, something like that. And the advisor was like, oh no, this is fine. You got what you need.
That's fantastic.
Get that cleared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great, because that's one of the things, like I said, we stress it's easy to not only bring your credits over to here, but then your credits to go on, at least in our business classes. So when we find out that has happened and it was true, that makes us very happy. And when, we can tell other people it really is true. Yeah. And so I feel like when you went WSU Tech to WSU, it was pretty seamless. You just transitioned and went to work and you got done because you had your plan already in place. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Once I completed the administrative office technology program, I thought to myself, okay, I have a lot of more computer skills than I've ever had, especially with the advanced PowerPoint and Excel and Word that we learned. I still use so many things and show all my coworkers all of these different things to do that I learned.
We're giving her all that credit. Pivot tables, right?
Yes. Yep. Pivot tables, all of it. Yep.
Fantastic.
I'm just like formatting data all over the place.
Wonderful.
And my coworkers are like,
we like to hear that.
Yes.
We love to hear that.
Yes. So then I figured out, okay, well, I'll do business. This is going to help in my daily life and my work life. One of my favorite things that I was able to do was to be able to write about my job in my school and then use my schooling for my job purposes. I think it was just, I wrote an entire 8-page essay about Emprise Bank, and you helped me with it, and I think I did a good job. So
cool. I said all the skills, they come together. To me, in fruition, when you get this degree, the degree that you maybe didn't know you were going after, but now you've got. And I have to say how proud I am of her, and that she's doing leadership classes as well. And she was doing that at the time that she was completing her degree. So I think just being in school, getting these skills, confidence, and know you can take things on, and it makes you happy, proud, and fulfills just your own self-esteem. And then again, it helps your work experience. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? It's empowered you more to take things on?
Yes. I used to almost be embarrassed that I never finished within the 4 years out of high school. So I struggled with that for a little bit. And then once I finally, it's almost like I got my mind right. I had more of a plan. I knew that I really loved what I did at work. So I might as well continue on that path because I'm good at it and I enjoy it. That's the two main things I would say, of course everybody wants to get paid a little more, but that was the best part. So I eventually got over that. I truly just continued doing school, worked hard, still made time for my friends, still traveled. I only took 2 summers off, I think, and traveled all throughout the whole thing. And I was really cognizant and passionate about still having a life outside of work and school. And I think I did a really good job at that. And then once I got done, I was so proud of myself because
you should be.
I did it. I did it all on my own. I did it a little unconventionally.
But we don't think that's unconventional
Not
anymore.
anymore.
I feel like, a lot of our students come in and maybe they did try it after high school. For me, I was lucky at work. Linda, I think you did yours later, didn't you?
Yeah, I
You wanna
was.
speak to that.
Yeah, I didn't go back to school till after I actually got a divorce and then went back to school with kids. And so, yeah, very definitely the first generation returning adult student. It was, very scary.
I think so. The student that comes right out of high school and goes and finishes might be a little rare anymore. I haven't looked at the statistics, but I sure don't meet any really that have gone that path. So I admire a student, boy, like with my students, they have a lot of things going now, families, jobs, and they come back to better their lives. And I feel like that was a lot what you did. You started, but it wasn't quite where you were wanting. And then you got to a point where like, let's go ahead and try it again. And then you had a different, maybe your thought process was different. And you were working and you're like, okay, I like this money. Maybe I'll have more money down the line.
Well, and I love the fact that you used your time management skills. And you said it. You knew what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted your weekends. So that meant if somebody said, hey, let's go out to dinner on Tuesday, I can't. I got to do homework. And so you made those choices. And that's what, as a student, that's what you have to do is decide up front, where am I going to make what are my consequences going to be? If I don't study, am I going to pass this test? Am I going to get my homework in? And you made those choices before, you got into your classes. You knew this is what I was going to do. And so that helps a lot. What were some of your tips that you learned, like with your study skills? Because online classes are not as easy to do, especially for a lot of students. They think, oh, it's going to be easier. I'm going to be home. I can set my home time. I think they're harder than face-to-face. So what are give us a couple of your best tips for students if they're in an online class right now?
Probably my first tip would be to get a calendar or a notebook or something physical and write out this class, these assignments are due on this day. This class is due this day. And then I think being able to physically see it kind of all in one spot is easiest as far as keeping track with deadlines and assignments turned in and knowing, okay, I have 3 weeks to work on this paper, but I don't want to do it 3 days before it's due. So, maybe I'll work on it here a little bit. I also think that it's so easy to be distracted at home. So luckily I work from home, so I have an office, a true office, and I can close my door and tell everyone, okay, leave me alone for the next 2 hours. I got stuff to do. I think just making that choice to, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours right now, and I'll put my phone on do not disturb, and maybe an hour and I'll check it real quick. Just give myself a little brain break. I'll play a word game or read some Instagram blog, catch up on my pop culture for the moment, and then I'll get right back into it because I want my weekends. I want to have time to do things. I want to be able to enjoy life outside of doing school for 8 hours.
I think that's a really great point because I do think students see like, oh my gosh, I have all these things. How am I going to fit it in? But like you said, to me, even I like visual things anymore. I look at visual calendars, and we were just looking at a visual calendar together because it made more sense. So if you can put a visual down, like this is my week. Okay, now I'm done and I'm okay. Okay, in 3 weeks, I see that paper, I'll start working in pieces on it. I mean, I think that's a fantastic time management. And I know, Linda, if you want to finish that off with time management skills, which you teach.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I have with students lately is the ones that want to cram everything in to a 3-hour period. Or I've had several students lately that have said, yeah, I'm studying and I just fall asleep. And if you're falling asleep when you're studying, just take a break because you're not going to learn anything anyway. And make sure that you're getting the rest you need, getting the study you need, eating right. You've got to plan it. I mean, Benjamin Franklin said, I don't know how many years ago, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Yes.
Yeah. If you want to go to dinner on a Tuesday night, then maybe you need to make sure you get your homework done on Monday night so you have that Tuesday night free. But you need to plan for it, and like you planned to have your weekends free. You knew that's what you wanted to do. So you worked during the week to have it done.
So I'm just going to ask real quick, when we get a new student, they do have a hard time figuring this out. As a new student, when you went out of high school, was that hard? You put your studying in the week? Okay. Because there were so many distractions.
Yeah. And I mean, it didn't help me that I was in a new place and I had no real accountability. I mean, my parents can only do so much from 5 hours away, So having no accountability, it was easy to just blow everything off. And I think, my husband, Alex, helped me stay accountable. He would ask me, he would check on me how I was doing in school and classes and see what I had left for the week. He was very supportive and very helpful. So I think even having an extra person to just kind of keep you on track, keep you accountable, because sometimes I'd be like, I'm doing this instead. And he's like, how much do you have left to do?
Well, and just knowing somebody really is caring that you are on the path that you want to be. And I don't really think it's checking up on you. It's just more that, hey, I'm here to support you. What more can I do? Right. That's lacking sometimes with our students. So that's really nice to have a support system.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to say is, we try to provide a support system. Linda works a lot with nursing students. And of course, I tutor our business students because it is hard to, pick up and go, what was I even trying to do here? Yeah. So I was going to say, is there anything else you want to add?
I will say that the staff made it easy. Most of everyone that I ever emailed about something was quick to respond. It is a little different being an online class because sometimes you feel like it's just you. But I think both of my experiences from Tech to WSU, everyone did their best to make it a community, a class, rather than you're just on your own and good luck to you. So I'm really grateful that there was a lot of support within the staff as well.
Do we like to hear that? We like to think we do that. And that's, of course, our mission to always help not just one whole class, but every student in whatever way we can. So we appreciate you saying that.
Of course.
And,
sometimes we only hear the ones that aren't happy.
Yeah.
So if you like your instructors, tell them. Please. And then tell their bosses.
Yeah.
So anyway, the whole purpose of our talk today was just to have a student, Rachel, our student. She started out in one way, came to WSU Tech, and found a path to go on to WSU. And even if she would have stopped at WSU Tech, it was still skills she's already talked about that she could use in her job.
She still uses them today?
Yeah. She could probably teach me some of them. So,
my job is very similar to school, where I have monthly deadlines, weekly deadlines, and a daily deadline that takes me 15 minutes. So I have to figure out, okay, this is due on this day. I got to get all of this done. And then things keep coming in. And I really have used time management skills in my professional life too.
And so you can't just email your boss and say, I'm sorry, I don't have time to get to this today. Can I extend my due dates?
In very rare circumstances, but
That's
if
a good
I'm,
thing
if
to
I'm
know,
missing
though.
stuff,
Yeah.
he'll be like,
That you can't do that in
Right.
the real world. Yes.
Yes, so that's
Yeah.
good. In fact, we've had students that when spring break comes here, they think they're on spring break at work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
We have to tell students things, and that's okay. You know, we can't learn everything on their own, but we sure appreciate you coming in and
Yes. Thank
telling
you
us
so
about your
much.
experience and how much success you've had. And it's great that it's Linda's program, and she's still using all those.
I know.
I sure
skills.
am.
She
I
didn't
sure
mention my
am.
macro and micro skills, but whatever. So.
Well, I'm sorry.
But anyway, on our BizBuzz, we would like you to subscribe, like us, comment, please comment. Yes, we want to hear what you want to hear about. And we're trying to do different things every month to let you know what we're doing here in the business department.
And if
So,
you've been a student at WSU Tech, and if you want to come tell your story, hey,
mhm,
reach out. We'd love to have you.
like, subscribe,
Follow.
all those things. You know, tell us what you liked and not what you didn't like. Okay.
No, yeah, we want
Okay.
everything.
But we
so.
do appreciate Rachel Seiwert,
Yes.
my
Thank you,
daughter-in-law,
thank you.
coming in. And like I said, I'm Dr. Seiwert. This is Miss
Linda
Sessions,
Sessions.
and we appreciate you listening to our podcast.
And this has been BizBuzz.
It has been
Have
BizBuzz.
some sunshine in your life today.
And good 2024.
Bye.